warriors wielding Isilulus and Isijulas were able to strike fear into enemies armed with guns and steel. What fearsome weapons did these warriors craft that were viewed by some as tools forged by the devil himself? Here are the 8 fearsome Zulu weapons you've never heard of. Number 8. Isijula. The Isijula, also known as the Zulu throwing spear, was an essential weapon in the Zulu arsenal, distinct from the more famous Iqalwa, the short stabbing spear. The Isijula was a long spear, generally ranging between 6 to 8 feet in length. Its shaft was usually made from a strong, flexible wood, typically sourced from indigenous African trees like umthathi, sneezewood, or other durable hardwoods. At the end of the spear was an iron or steel tip, often leaf-shaped, designed for piercing. Zulu smiths were known for their exceptional metalworking skills, and they crafted the spearheads with precision. The Isijula's tip needed to be sharp and well-balanced to ensure it could be hurled with accuracy over long distances. The length of the spear allowed warriors to throw it with force, ensuring it could penetrate enemy shields and armor. The Isijula played a vital role in the Zulu battle strategy known as the Buffalo Horns formation, a tactic pioneered by the legendary Zulu king, Shaka. In this formation, the central isifuba, chest, and the encircling horns of the army would approach the enemy, but before engaging in close combat, warriors would launch volleys of Isijula to soften and disrupt the enemy ranks. This preliminary attack had the dual purpose of creating gaps in the enemy's defenses and demoralizing their forces. The Isijula was particularly useful in early 19th century battles when the Zulu were expanding their territory under Shaka's leadership. In engagements like the Battle of Gokokli Hill in 1818, where the Zulu faced off against the Ndwandwe, the Isijula proved crucial in breaking up enemy formations before the deadly Iqalwa spear was brought into play. Similarly, during the Zulu Civil War, this throwing spear helped secure decisive victories for Shaka's forces by allowing them to weaken their opponents from a distance. While Shaka Zulu himself is most closely associated with the development of the Iqalwa, his warriors widely used the Isijula to complement the stabbing spear. Shaka trained his warriors rigorously in the art of throwing the Isijula with both speed and precision. This training was essential because Zulu warriors had to be adept at using both types of spears in the chaos of battle. The ability to quickly hurl an Isijula and then switch to the Iqalwa for close combat was a hallmark of Zulu military discipline. Famous Zulu commanders such as Dingane, Shaka's half-brother and successor, continued to employ the Isijula in their military campaigns. During Dingane's reign, the Zulu faced off against the Voortrekkers in the Battle of Blood River in 1838. While the Voortrekkers' firearms proved superior, the Zulus' early use of the Isijula in other engagements helped them fend off European settlers and neighboring African tribes in earlier battles. Despite its effectiveness in early Zulu warfare, the Isijula's prominence began to wane with the introduction of European firearms to southern Africa. The British, Dutch, and Boer settlers brought muskets and rifles to the region, which dramatically altered the nature of warfare. While the Zulu continued to use the Isijula, its long-range capabilities were no match for the bullet. However, the Zulu never fully abandoned the weapon, as it still proved useful in skirmishes and for hunting purposes. Number 7. Isilongu. The Ilelongu was a large, oval-shaped shield made from cowhide, typically about 5 feet tall and 2.5 feet wide, designed to cover most of the warrior's body. It was made from the tough, durable hide of cattle, which was carefully selected for its ability to withstand both piercing and blunt force attacks. The cowhide used in the Ilelongu was treated and cured to increase its durability. A key feature of the shield was the long central boss, which was made from a reinforced section of hide or wood. This boss not only provided additional protection to the hand holding the shield, but also served as a point of impact when the warrior used the shield offensively to shove or strike an opponent. The hide was often dyed in various colors, with different hues representing the warrior's rank or unit within the Zulu army. For example, black and white shields were typically reserved for higher-ranking warriors, while younger recruits carried shields with different color patterns. This system of color coding helps commanders identify and organize their troops on the battlefield, a feature that contributed to the disciplined structure of the Zulu military. The Ilelongu was central to the defensive strategies of the Zulu warriors. During hand-to-hand combat, the shield was used to block incoming spears, arrows, or blows from enemy weapons like clubs or other melee tools. Its large size allowed a warrior to crouch behind it, offering nearly full-body protection while still being able to peer over the top to observe the enemy's movements. One of the most significant tactical advantages of the Ilelongu was its role in the famous bullhorn formation, Impi Yokutwala Izinkomo, created by Shaka Zulu. In this formation, the army was divided into three sections: the Isifuba, chest; the Izimpondo, horns; and the Umva, loins. The Ilelongu was especially effective in close-quarters combat when paired with the Ikalwa, the Zulu stabbing spear. A Zulu warrior would use the shield to parry or block an enemy attack and, in the same motion, strike with the Ikalwa over or around the shield. This combination of offense and defense made the Zulu warriors deadly in battle, particularly when they fought in tightly coordinated formations. In the early 19th century, during battles like the Battle of Cockley Hill in 1818, the Ilelongu allowed Zulu warriors to withstand volleys of projectiles from their enemies and engage in close combat with devastating effectiveness. At Cockley Hill, Shaka Zulu's forces, equipped with their large shields and newly introduced short stabbing spears, decisively defeated the Ndwandwe, a rival clan. The Ilelongu helps neutralize the Ndwandwe's initial attacks, giving the Zulu the upper hand when the two sides met in close combat. The Ilelongu was a standard issue for all Zulu warriors, from the seasoned veterans to the younger recruits. Elite regiments, such as the Udloko and Ingobamakosi, were particularly known for their skill with the shield. These elite units were often stationed at the front lines of battle, where their shields played a critical role in absorbing the brunt of enemy attacks. Shaka Zulu himself was known to carry the Ilelongu during his early campaigns, and the shield became a symbol of his leadership and military innovation. Other notable Zulu leaders, including Dingane and Sechwayo, also utilized the Ilelongu in their military campaigns. During the Anglo-Zulu War in 1879, Zulu warriors equipped with the Ilelongu faced off against British troops in battles like Isandlwana. Although the British had superior firepower, the Zulu warriors were able to overwhelm them with their shields and spears in close combat, achieving a stunning victory at the Battle of Isandlwana, where the Ilelongu once again played a key role in Zulu tactics. Number 6. Mbemba. The mbemba was a relatively small axe, typically around 30 to 50 centimeters in length, with a sharp metal blade attached to a sturdy wooden handle. The blade, made from iron or steel, was shaped like a crescent or wedge, designed for cutting, chopping, or striking. The wooden handle, usually made from local hardwoods, was often polished and reinforced to withstand heavy use. The axe's compact size allowed it to be easily carried on the warrior's belt or over the shoulder, making it a convenient tool or weapon when needed. Although the mbemba was not the primary weapon of Zulu warriors, it was still an effective hand-to-hand combat tool. In close-quarters battle, the axe could be used to deliver powerful chopping blows, breaking through enemy defenses. Its compact nature allowed for quick, fluid movements, making it useful in tight or confined spaces where a longer spear might be cumbersome. However, its primary use was more practical than combative. It also served as a tool for cutting wood, preparing food, or even as an item for trade. The blade of the mbemba was typically made from iron, which was smelted and forged by Zulu blacksmiths. The Zulu were skilled metallurgists, and they developed techniques for forging strong, durable blades that could retain sharp edges even after repeated use. The iron was heated, hammered into shape, and then sharpened, creating a versatile cutting edge suitable for both domestic tasks and battle. The handle of the axe was crafted from local hardwoods, such as umthathi or umkangala. The wood was often carved to fit the user's hand comfortably, allowing for a secure grip during combat or work. Some Mbemba handles were intricately decorated, with carvings or patterns etched into the wood, though these were more common on ceremonial or high-status axes. Although axes like the Mbemba were not as central to Zulu warfare as spears or shields, they still played a role, especially in close combat situations. Warriors might carry the Mbemba as a secondary weapon, using it when their primary weapons were lost or when they needed a more versatile tool for combat. The short handle and sharp blade made it effective for hacking and chopping, and it could be used to strike at an opponent's limbs or to break through their defenses. Outside of warfare, the Mbemba was an essential tool in everyday Zulu life. It was used for cutting firewood, clearing brush, and preparing animal hides. The small size and sharp blade made it an efficient tool for various tasks around the homestead. This practical utility made the axe a common item in Zulu households, though its presence as a weapon was more situational. Number 5. Isilulus. The Isilulus is a short, stabbing spear developed under the reign of the legendary Zulu king, Shaka Zulu, and is one of the most iconic weapons in Zulu warfare history. This spear was designed to transform traditional warfare tactics, shifting the focus from long-range, throwing spears to close combat engagements. The Isilulus takes its name from the sound it supposedly made when being withdrawn from an opponent's body, a gruesome reminder of its brutal efficiency. The Isilulus was much shorter than the traditional throwing spears, like the Isijulas. Its shaft measured around 60 to 80 centimeters, with a broader, double-edged blade at the top, roughly 20 to 30 centimeters long. The short length of the spear allowed it to be wielded more like a sword than a traditional spear, making it ideal for close combat. The blade, made from iron, was sharpened to a deadly point, and the shaft was usually made of tough, flexible hardwood to absorb the impact of repeated stabbing motions in battle. The Isilulus was notable for its simplicity in design, but it was highly effective. Its compact size allowed warriors to move more freely and with greater speed, particularly in the tight formations used in Zulu warfare. Warriors could easily maneuver the spear to strike at an enemy's vital areas, delivering quick, lethal blows. Unlike longer spears, which were primarily thrown from a distance, the Isilulus was designed to be used in hand-to-hand combat, allowing Zulu warriors to engage their enemies face-to-face. King Shaka Zulu is credited with developing the Isilulus as part of his broader military reforms. Prior to Shaka's rise to power in the early 19th century, Zulu warriors primarily relied on long-throwing spears for warfare, often engaging enemies at a distance and relying on hit-and-run tactics. Shaka, recognizing the limitations of this strategy, sought to revolutionize Zulu warfare by introducing close combat techniques, where warriors would engage their enemies in direct battle. The Isilulus became a central feature of Shaka's new tactics. Instead of throwing spears from a distance, Zulu warriors would use their large Ilelongu shields to close in on their opponents, deflecting attacks while moving forward. Once in close quarters, they would thrust with their Isilulus, delivering quick and repeated stabbing motions aimed at disabling or killing their opponents. This tactic allowed the Zulu army to overwhelm and outmaneuver their enemies, who were often unprepared for such aggressive, close-range combat. In battles such as the Battle of Kokli Hill and the Battle of Isandlwana, the Isilulus proved its worth. At Isandlwana, Zulu forces equipped with Isilulus spears overwhelmed a British force armed with rifles, demonstrating the effectiveness of the Zulu fighting techniques and weaponry. Number 4. Ihawu. The Ihawu is a small shield traditionally used by the Zulu warriors, designed to offer a combination of protection and mobility during close combat. Unlike its larger counterpart, the Ilelongu, which was used for broader defensive coverage, the Ihawu is lighter and more maneuverable. This made it an essential part of a Zulu warrior's arsenal, particularly during skirmishes where agility and speed were crucial. The Ihawu is typically oval-shaped, with its size generally ranging between 60 to 90 centimeters in height and about 40 to 50 centimeters in width. It was made from cowhide, specifically from the hardened skin of Nguni cattle, which were prized by the Zulu people. The use of cowhide ensured that the shield was lightweight while still durable enough to withstand blows from spears, clubs, and other weapons. The Ihawu was often dyed in different patterns, with white and black being the most common colors, symbolizing different regiments or ranks within the Zulu army. A sturdy wooden framework ran through the center of the shield, offering structural support, while a leather handle on the backside allowed the warrior to grip the shield securely. The leather strips were sewn into the shield to reinforce it, ensuring it could endure the harsh conditions of battle. This practical design provided enough coverage to protect the warrior's torso while allowing for swift movements. Zulu warriors were known for their aggressive close combat strategies, and the Ihawu facilitated their ability to move quickly and strike with precision. While the shield provided enough protection to deflect spears and other attacks, its smaller size meant that warriors could maneuver around the battlefield more easily, dodging blows and counterattacking with spears like the Isilulus. During hand-to-hand combat, the Ihawu was used to parry attacks, deflect incoming spears, and create openings for counterattacks. Zulu warriors often held the Ihawu in one hand while thrusting with a stabbing spear in the other. This allowed them to stay on the offensive while remaining protected from incoming strikes. The combination of the Ihawu and the short stabbing spear was a deadly pairing, allowing the warriors to overwhelm their opponents in close-quarters combat. The Ihawu played a significant role in the famous military formations and tactics developed by King Shaka Zulu in the early 19th century. Shaka's military reforms emphasized close combat, mobility, and the use of strategic formations such as the Horns of the Buffalo. In this formation, warriors equipped with Ihawu shields would advance in the center of the formation, engaging the enemy at close range. Their agility, aided by the small shield, allowed them to move swiftly and deliver decisive blows to break through enemy lines. The Ihawu was particularly effective in these kinds of formations because it allowed warriors to maintain a strong defense while moving rapidly. Number 3. Knob carry. The knob carry is a traditional war club used by the Zulu people, recognized for its simplicity yet devastating effectiveness in close combat. The knob carry is typically crafted from a single piece of hardwood, chosen for its strength and durability. The club usually measures between 60 and 90 centimeters in length, with the rounded head, or knob, varying in size depending on its intended use. The head, often about the size of a fist, is carefully carved to create a smooth, rounded surface that could deliver powerful blows. Some knob carries were even reinforced with metal or stone, though the majority were simply made from wood. The shaft of the knob carry was designed to provide a secure grip for the user, often smoothed down or wrapped in leather to prevent slipping during combat. The lightweight nature of the wood allowed warriors to wield the weapon with speed and precision, making it effective for both offensive and defensive maneuvers. Its rounded head could crush bones and cause significant injury, while the length of the shaft provided enough reach to strike an opponent without getting too close. Zulu warriors would use the club to strike enemies with powerful overhead or sideways blows, aiming to incapacitate them by breaking bones or delivering concussive hits to the head and body. Unlike spears or shields, which were used for both offense and defense, the knob carry was solely a weapon of attack, designed to cause damage through sheer force. One of the key advantages of the knob carry was its versatility. It could be used to deliver lethal blows when necessary, but it was also effective in subduing opponents without killing them. This made it useful for capturing enemies or forcing them to surrender. The weapon's ability to break bones or knock an opponent unconscious meant that it could be used to disable a foe without ending their life, making it an invaluable tool in battles where prisoners were taken. Beyond its role in warfare, the knobkerrie also held cultural significance in Zulu society. It was often carried by men as a symbol of their status or as a walking stick. In some cases, it was used in ceremonial functions, including rituals and dances, where its presence signified strength and authority. The knobkerrie was also employed as a hunting tool, used to kill small game or finish off wounded animals. This versatility made it a practical item for Zulu warriors both on and off the battlefield. Well, it's time for our subscribers pick. You might have read a few or a lot of stories about the Zulu wars and weapons, but have you ever imagined a Zulu warrior standing proudly on the African savanna, gripping an oversized umgabela, a heavy Zulu spear with a sharp blade, almost too large for one man to wield? Now, picture yourself in this scene, in the heat of battle, wielding such a weapon. Could you imagine fighting alongside these brave men, relying on your skill, strength, and the bond of your comrades? Would you have had the courage to stand in their place if you had lived in this era? Share your opinions with us in the comments section. Number 2. Omonwi Kundla. The Omonwi Kundla is a ceremonial spear that holds significant symbolic meaning within Zulu culture. Unlike the battle spears commonly used in warfare, the Omonwi Kundla was rarely used in combat. Instead, it played an important role in rituals, ceremonies, and cultural events. As a symbol of power, prestige, and status, this spear was reserved for high-ranking warriors and leaders, embodying their strength and influence within the community. It was traditionally made from eucalyptus wood, a durable and strong material sourced in South Africa. The spear was meticulously crafted, with a sleek shaft and an ornamental spearhead. Unlike the functional spears used in battle, this ceremonial spear was often adorned with intricate decorations, including beads, feathers, or engravings that represented the warrior's rank, achievements, and the cultural significance of the event in which it was used. The use of eucalyptus wood was significant not only because of its strength, but also due to its local availability. The wood was treated and polished to give the spear a refined and prestigious appearance, further enhancing its ceremonial value. The Omonwi Kundla was usually shorter than battle spears like the Ilelongu, making it more suited for ceremonial purposes where agility or combat effectiveness was not a priority. The Omonwi Kundla was more than just a decorative spear. High-ranking warriors, chiefs, and leaders would carry it during rituals and important cultural gatherings, such as initiation ceremonies, festivals, or royal events. The presence of the spear indicated the importance of the individual carrying it, as it signified their elevated position within the Zulu hierarchy. In rituals, the Omonwi Kundla was often part of the process of invoking ancestral spirits or paying tribute to the gods. Its presence during these events was a reflection of the deep connection between warriors and their spiritual beliefs. The spear was a physical representation of the power and authority bestowed upon its bearer, often passed down through generations. For Zulu warriors, owning an Omonwi Kundla was a mark of great distinction. It was not a weapon for everyday use or battle, but rather a ceremonial piece that represented a warrior's accomplishments, bravery, and social standing. The spear's design and adornment reflected the personality and achievements of the owner, making it a deeply personal and revered item. Because of its association with high-ranking individuals, the spear was often used in ceremonies that recognized significant achievements or transitions in a warrior's life. It could be presented as a gift or an honor, marking a warrior's ascent to a new rank or status within the community. In this way, the Omonwi Kundla was not only a weapon, but a living symbol of the cultural values and traditions that defined Zulu society. Number 1. Umkhonto. The Umkhonto is a weapon deeply rooted in the history and culture of the Zulu people. Unlike the Omonwi Kundla, which is a ceremonial spear reserved for rituals and high-ranking individuals, the Umkhonto is a practical weapon used primarily in combat. Made famous by the legendary Zulu king, Shaka, the Umkhonto played a pivotal role in his military innovations, revolutionizing Zulu warfare and ensuring the spear's place in African history. The Umkhonto could be crafted from various materials, including steel and wood, depending on its intended use and the available resources. The steel-tipped version, in particular, was highly valued for its durability and effectiveness in battle. The spearhead was long and sharp, designed to pierce through the enemy's defenses, while the shaft provided the warrior with a good grip and enough leverage to throw the weapon with great force or use it in close combat. The Umkhonto was a versatile weapon, used both for throwing at distant enemies and for stabbing in close-quarters combat. It allowed Zulu warriors to attack from a safe distance while still delivering lethal force. This dual capability made it a highly effective weapon in the battlefield. In fact, during Shaka's reign, the Umkhonto became central to his military strategies, complementing the Isilulus, the short stabbing spear that was more suited for close combat. The throwing capability of the Umkhonto was particularly useful in the early stages of battle. Warriors could hurl their spears at advancing enemies, disrupting their formations and reducing their numbers before engaging in hand-to-hand combat. The Umkhonto's design, with a long shaft and sharp tip, allowed it to penetrate shields and armor, making it a formidable weapon against both lightly and heavily armored opponents. Shaka Zulu's military innovations included the adaptation of traditional Zulu weapons, and the Umkhonto was no exception. The Umkhonto has withstood the test of time. Although modern warfare has evolved beyond the use of spears, the Umkhonto is still recognized for its historical significance. It has been immortalized in literature, films, and historical accounts of Shaka's military campaigns. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching.